Okay, so what we had was we had a beam of electrons going this way. And that's its velocity. And let's say that we have a magnetic field that is straight into the board or into the paper. Could you guys take a second, use the right-hand rule? Tell me which direction you expect to get motion here. We're getting some consensus on down. Let's check. So there's my velocity. Curling my fingers, which you can't see, to point in the direction of field. My thumb is pointing up, but since it's a negative charge, we expect something like this. Perfect. All right, so let's change the situation a little bit. We're still going to have our inward field, but now we're going to make the velocity go like this at an angle. So how do we deal with that? Well, the way we deal with most vectors is we make components. We could call this Vx, and we could call that Vy. So take a second, put into the chat, which of these two components do you think is going to be affected by the magnetic field? All right, I'm getting lots of boths. That's correct too, because if you think both Vx and Vy, they're still both perpendicular to the magnetic field. Now let's try one that's, I think, really hard to draw, but let's imagine one that's pointing in the direction this pencil is pointing. So both the X direction, but then the Z direction down into the paper. So if we were going to look at this from the side, so this is now the magnetic field. I'm talking about a velocity this way. So we could call the components here Vx and Vz. So now tell me, which one do you think in the chat is going to experience a force? Which component? Absolutely. So all the people putting Vx, very good job. So why does this result in a spiral then? Well, the component Vx is going to basically look like circular motion, but Vz still exists. So it'll move in a circle, but it'll start going like that. If we didn't have a Vz, like in this case, it would just be perfectly in a circle like that. So hopefully that helps us understand the idea of having a component parallel to the field and why it results in a spiral.